Wow. Okay, guys. This is an amazing day on price action. It's kind of setting up for some crazy stuff that could be going on here. Today is Wednesday, and this is your recap for this Wednesday's price action. So I do have a lot of stuff kind of going on here. Let me kind of show you. I'm looking at the daily here, and this is kind of what I'm laying out currently on the daily, and we'll kind of see where things are at. Now you can't see this little move lines right here. This is just the current price action down lower time frames, but really, when you're looking at this bigger structure, we kind of have this area right here at that 108,300 level, give or take. It's kind of a strong baseline. We kind of played with it right through here with the 200. Now the 200 is starting to come up, right up in here, and this is right up into the end of the month. I'm kind of curious how this is going to play out here, and we are playing with a daily 200, and it does look like we kind of built a left kind of side, and then we built that kind of the head area, and looks like we're kind of sitting on the right shoulder, and that's kind of why I drew this pattern out in this area. So it does look like it's kind of flagging here, and of course with that price action, it kind of takes us down to these two levels, depending on how you pull the ranges here. I went ahead and marked them out, so you can see that as well, and that's kind of what you're looking at when we zoom back in. The one thing I will point out is typically the daily or the 22 kind of ties into the daily. Right now we're sitting underneath the 200, and we're sitting right on top of this 21, and we're hanging on by a thread here. Right here, this yellow line is the weekly point of control from this last week that we just closed. Now we're about halfway into this week, and we broke up over the last Monday but since then we just have lost it, and we're coming back into last week's point of control. So it does show that we could lose it, and then at that point it does take us down to the bottom of the volume area low of that last week's candle. So interesting to see that. Obviously, that's the low of everything. And if it breaks out, it looks like we could be taking a further direction. Now the 22, like I said, is sitting in a neutral zone. The daily right now is also playing in this neutral zone. So I'm watching if the 22 starts to slip and comes down in here. Typically the 22 will play into that daily. So it's kind of just a kind of an early sign, and you do see it right here on the MACD. It wants to curl out. The switches definitely are coming down. We haven't got the curl completely on the RSI, but you've already started the cross here. Now we're going to get the rotation, and the 21 is going to be that saving grace in this lower time frame. And I'm just pointing this out because we're kind of playing in this zone right now, and you can see this has got that flag. Now are we going to run up here off this flag and get us back up into this 119, 120,000 range, and break out of this area and break all this area that I'm just talking about right now? Or are we going to go down and start to break out? And that's really what I want to watch and see what we're going to do. Now, the 1 hour right now has been trying to run, but you are sitting bearish. And I say bearish because you're underneath the 21 and you're underneath the 200 here. So it's been bearish since about 10 o'clock this morning. It's been playing in this area. So this could actually start to break down and take this lower area out, and could bounce. We'll have to see. The 4 hour right now is underneath its 21 and 200. So that is definitely bearish as well. So you're bearish. You're playing barely a neutral in the daily, 22-hour daily, but yet you're definitely bearish in the 4, bearish in the 1. And the 15 has been bearish basically all day. Now it's kind of sitting in this reset. Things are starting to kind of roll over again in the overall indicators. It looks like we might get this cross. Now we'll have to kind of see how this plays out. Like I said, this line in the sand is pretty strong right here on the 15-minute, this point of control, which is sitting at the 111,000 basically for this point of control in the weekly, which is this yellow line coming through here. I would expect this to actually start climbing out of here, and yet the volume area high on the weekly is right up here, and it's rejecting in this area since afternoon on this initial rundown. So to get into the price action and helping you out using the key levels, you can see here is the levels for the day. The 30-minute is outside of the breakout area. A lot of times when you see that, it's weird, so you kind of want to pay attention. Now, we did have a big news day with the FOMC meeting. We're cutting the rate. We don't really know what they're going to do here at the end of the year. A lot of blah blah type news. But when that happens, the market reacts, and you can see that happening here. Anyways, this ran up in the morning, did the breakout, we didn't get to close. Then we did get the breakdown, we got the 2 closes, and then this is where I started to look at taking the trade, which was right in this area right here. I'll mark it on there. We'll go into the 5-minute. And you can see this is the price action here. Now, of course, I wanted this to go down, so I wanted to make sure that we were back up in here. And we did get up in there right here. And obviously it came down and came back up and then broke down again. That's the joys of trading. But really what I want to do is see it back up here. So when I saw this curl back over, this is about where I was getting in. Of course, I knew the strength was up in this area. For me, I want to use the breakdown area as my support. If you want to be a little more conservative, you could have went up a little bit higher on that 30-minute. That's your choice. And then, of course, from here, you can take it out where you want. I took it out to the point of control on the weekly as the anchor. So I actually got taken out based on that. And you can see it came down and tested it and then bounced along it and then reversed. Now, if you just waited in the chart, you would have definitely got out right up here, right above, where I actually got removed. Still a very good trade. Now, this action right through here that you saw, this weird breakdown and run up, and now we're kind of rolling back over again. Regardless, this was all news in the afternoon. So really, like the GPT had called out, hey, when you start getting around 11:30, 12 o'clock, it's probably time to close out your trades and just back away from the market and let the news craziness happen. And this is the reason why it looks like it was getting ready to rip up and break out and take off, and yet it just turned around and just took away a lot of money on the market here. About a $2,000 move on BTC in one move is definitely frustrating for many. So that's what happened, and then it got reversed. Of course, it rejected, but it couldn't sustain itself, and now it still kind of climbed out slowly. And now we're back on the 15-minute, and for me, that main area that I'm still watching is this point of control, like I keep pointing out. We are bearish on the 5-minute because we're underneath the moving averages, and we're basically getting ready to go bearish again here on the 15. And then we already looked at the higher time frames, so that 1 hour, 4 hour are bearish right now as well because they're underneath their moving averages. To me, that kind of shows me the settlement of the market. I know a lot of people want this to go up. There is potential movement up, but I will point this out throughout the day on the timestamp. This is like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock into the 3 o'clock hour. There was a lot more energy up here, and as we get later into the evening, a lot of this is starting to burn out for potential run up. So it could rebuild because right now there's not a lot down here. But I will point out, be careful in this because the TA is definitely putting pressure on the downside. So we could get a spike up here and to take out this last liquidity up in this, or it could just burn out, which you can kind of see it's already starting to, all this energy from the day is already slacking off into the evening. So chances of rolling down are getting stronger in this process, but each your own on your trading style and why you take the setups. But that is about it, guys. Hopefully you were back tested this, you watched the news, had your level set, took advantage of the market when it gave its opportunity, and then stayed away from the market there. There is some weird behavior here that, for a bigger idea, in this. Not saying this is exactly what it is, but it does have some typical patterns you see in news, which it came into the triangle, ricocheted up and down, and then it's traded out of the triangle. A lot of times you'll see it depends. Everybody talks about different. I've heard this both ways. A lot of times they'll say it continues out of the triangle the same way it entered the triangle. So it was in, ricocheted around, and then it would continue back on out. And you can kind of see that actually breaking here. It can't get up. So that's kind of the area I'm going to watch the line in the sand. If it starts to break down, like I said, everything's bearish already. Definitely goes down and tests this key area, which that does look like that's kind of what it wants to take advantage of. So yeah, right down in here. So we'll have to see. For me, my rules, I wouldn't trade in the evening unless I have a solid setup. That's a rarity. But just for food for thought, we'll see where we're at. And then obviously this could ricochet in this triangle here, or this could actually just go ahead and start breaking down, and we'll watch the levels. That's what you're charting out for, and that's why I want to show you guys all the higher time frame that we're watching. But go ahead and like and subscribe, guys. Ask any questions if you have them. That is our goal, is to train and teach. We want to be somebody different in the market, and that's why you see us do TA the way we do, because we don't want to be like everybody else with the shiny new energy in the market. We want to be able to help you make knowledge base where it's not just what the textbook is saying. It actually puts energy in the why behind what you want to look for in the charting. So we'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you on the next recap. Let's check out what's going to happen here as we get near the end of the week. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.